So our today's question is diagonal traversal. Okay, the question was saying that you are given a matrix. Okay, it was rectangle or it given a m cross n matrix. Okay, so you have to traverse this matrix diagonally. Okay, so diagonal traversal you have to do. Okay, let's understand the question. Okay, so this is the example I am going to do dry run. Okay, so what the output of this question is to first we have to go on this way. Okay, so the question was saying you have to go on this diagonal, then opposite diagonal. Okay, means opposite traversal 2 5 9 6 3 4 7 10 11 8 and 12. Okay, this is the question. Okay, okay, so to reduce the complexity, what I am going to do is very simple. Okay, so question was saying you have to traverse in this direction. Okay, but what if we don't need to do that? Okay, very simple, we only need to traverse all the diagonals. Okay, if this was the question, how we can do? Okay, so all the diagonals are starting from these elements. Okay, 1 can come cover this diagonal, 4 can cover this diagonal, 7 can cover this diagonal, 8 can cover this diagonal, 9 can cover this diagonal. Okay, if somehow we can do that, okay, we have all the diagonals but not in the correct order. Okay, this diagonal we want in the opposite direction. Okay, very simple. What we can do, we can take a flag element, initialize it with 0. If this value is even, we want our diagonal in straight line. Okay, in a diagonal straight line. Okay, but when our flag value was 2 or 1. Okay, 1. Okay, 1. For this our diagonal value is 1. Okay, we are traversing on these elements. Okay, we are traversing on these elements. Simple. So for this our flag value is 0, then we are going to traverse on this direction. Okay, for 4 our flag value was 1. Okay, so we are still going to traverse this diagonal on straight line. Okay, 4 and 2, but we are going to store this in temporary array list, and then we are reverse it and store it. Okay, so simple way. Okay, so for flag was 0, our value was 1. Okay, when flag was 1, we are on 4 index. Our diagonal traversal, what we are giving it, 4 and 2. For 7 we are just going to traverse in straight line. Okay, and how we can do that I am going to explain you. 7 5 3, right, then 8 and 6, and lastly 9. Okay, so for this our flag value is 0, so our traversal is right. Okay, this is even value. Okay, for this our flag value is 1, we can increase our flag value. Okay, so this is 1, that means our goal is to reverse this array list. Okay, so our answer will become 2 and 4. Okay, we are adding this in answer. Okay, 0 2 4 7 5 8. Okay, for that our diagonal flag value is 2, this is even. Okay, so we are adding 7 5 3 in our answer. Okay, for this our flag value is odd. Okay, so we are going to reverse this 6 and 8. For this our diagonal value is 4, and we are just not doing anything because it is even. Okay, now your question is how we can traverse this. Okay, very straightforward. Okay, how you can traverse this. Okay, okay, so how we can traverse on this on diagonals. Okay, so let's see. For this column we are going to traverse on this column. Okay, we are achieving every element, and very simple. For 4 our next element was 2, and 2 is nothing but for 4 we are on this row and this column. Okay, so for 2 we can do row minus minus and column plus plus. Okay, when we are doing row minus minus we are on this row, and column plus plus we are on this column. Very simple. What we can do is we can do row minus minus and column plus plus, and how many times we are traversing until we can. Okay, let's see how. When we are on 4 we can traverse on 2 by doing row minus minus and column plus plus. Okay, again we are doing row minus minus when we are doing row minus minus, we are reaching on this row. Okay, this is -1 and this is out of our matrix. Okay, whenever we are out of our matrix, we just stop. Okay, until we just traverse. Okay, let's say 7, we are on 7. Okay, when we go on 5 by doing row minus minus column plus plus, this is also in the matrix. When we come on 3, this is also in the matrix. When we come on this index, okay, let's see, there is a matrix also. Okay, so let's see, there is a also matrix element, it is out of our matrix. Okay, so whenever we are out of our matrix, we just stop. Very simple. Okay, so the basic idea, we are going to traverse on these elements. Okay, first we are going to loop on first column and then we are going to loop on our last row except 7. Okay, because we already traverse it. And whenever we are on first, our flag value is 0, we are going to traverse on straight line. Okay, whenever our flag value is odd, we are going to still traverse on 4 and 2, but we store it into the temporary array list and then reverse it and store it into the answer. Okay, so basic idea. Okay, so let's see how we can do it. So we can run a loop. This is pseudo code. Okay, I'm going to explain you in the code. So we can run a loop from for this. Okay, so for every element, our I value was row value, right? We can row from 0 to n minus 1. Okay, this is our loop. Okay, this is our loop condition. I value was row because row was changing. Okay, row was 0, then 1 and 2, but our j value was still okay. J value was still okay, 0. Okay, this is first loop. And for second loop, what we can do, we can run a loop from this. Okay, our column value was changing. Okay, so we are on this column, then we are on this column. Okay, this is our column, this is our column, but row was still low, row was last row. Okay, so what we can do, this is for last row. Okay, so our column was from 1 to m minus 1. Okay, and our I value was still okay, I value was last row minus 1 and j value was column value. Okay, because our column was changing every time, our column was changing but row was not changing. That's why we are uh, declare the value of row and we are not changing it. Okay, that's how we can traverse. Okay, okay, now let's go on the code part. Okay, very simple. Okay, so for that, we want our n, that is mat dot length, n m equal to mat of 0 dot length. Okay, so we have to create our answer matrix, and answer matrix is nothing but n into m. Okay, n into m. Okay, that is our answer matrix. And we have to take our flag to determine where we have to go on straight line or in opposite line. Okay, now what we can do, we have to run a loop for first row. Okay, first column. Okay, so our row was changing from 0 to row less than n row plus plus. Okay, our row was changing, so our I value means our I index was row. Okay, but our I index was row. Okay, but our j index was j index was still, that is 0. Okay, now we have to check our flag value. Okay, flag modulo 2 equal to means if it is even. Very simple, what we have to do, we just need to, okay, we have to traverse on our answer matrix also, so we can take our index. Okay, index is 0. Okay, so now while I was greater than equal to 0 and I less than n, j greater than equal to 0, j less than m, and while until we are in our matrix, we are going to traverse. Okay, so answer of index plus plus. Okay, let's see, not do that. Then row and column. For next value, what we have to do, we have to just increase our okay, decrease our row, increase our column. Okay, when we on this index, if we decrease our row and increase our column, we are on the diagonal element. Okay, that's we can do. And for next element, we are increase our index. Okay, very simple. But what if our flag is not even, that means we have to traverse on opposite direction, but we are going to still do the same traversal but store this in the temporary array okay, list of eger list equal to new array list. Okay, so we are storing in the temporary array list. Okay, we are doing the same. Okay, but the only difference is we are storing this value in our list. Okay, and we are not updating this. Okay, after storing our, it is in this straight diagonal. Okay, so we have to reverse it, so we can run a loop on our array list in reverse order. Okay, x equal to list dot size -1, x greater than equal to 0, x minus minus. Okay, so answer of index equal to list dot get x, very simple, and index plus plus. Okay, and after doing that we can have to increase our flag value. Okay, now we run this loop for our column, first column, so we have to also run a loop for our last row to cover all the diagonals. Okay, for column equal to 1, because we already cover our uh, last index in our first row traversal. Okay, like what, okay, so we okay, for this traversal we cover 7 already, so for last row traversal we are not covering 7 again and again, we are starting from 8. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say. Column was less than m, column plus plus. Okay, so our I was still, okay, our I is not changing, but our column was changing. Okay, the j value was changing. Now we have to do the same for this also. Okay, so we can just directly copy paste it, very simple. We have to do the same. Okay, so what we are doing, if the flag value is even, we are storing in directly in our answer, but if the flag value is not even, we are storing the straight diagonal in our array list, in our list, and then we are storing into the opposite direction. Okay, and increase the value of flag, and we can return our answer. Let's see if it is work or not. Okay, so what they are saying, okay, new int. Okay, that is very silly mistake. Line number 12. Okay, so we are not putting and here, so also here, so also here. Okay, also where, okay, here. Now let's try to submit it. Okay, let's try to run it. Okay, what they are saying, row and column. Oh shit, this is I, this is j, this is I, this is j. Shit. No problem, we have to change some of the lines. This is I, this is j, this is I, this is j, because we are traversing on I and j in the values. Okay, I, j, I, j. Okay, now let's see. Okay, now let's try to submit it. Okay, okay, it's submitted. If you like the video, please make sure to subscribe to my channel.